Find a seat, find a seat. Let's get seated, let's get started.
This is what I told you. This is what I told you that because last week people didn't know they couldn't see it in school.
All righty, let's dial in, let's dial in. I'm loving the energy in the room. Let's find a seat. All right, DJ, cut my music so we can get this crowd going. I'm just gonna, it's there we go. That gets y'all's attention. Woo-wee. The energy in Heritage today is high. Do y'all feel it? Come on, y'all feel it. Let's hear it for Heritage. Come on. I love coming in. I had a breakfast this morning, so coming in, I had to find parking, and I had to circle once or twice, and I said that's a good problem to have. And you only have it at Heritage, so God bless. We love you guys. I'm glad y'all are here. We've got our new mics and our new audio in the room, so hopefully everybody can hear, even in the back, even over our chatty Cathys that like to have the side conversations, which we love you guys too. Y'all know who you are. Y'all made me have to get better audio in here just so we can talk over you guys, but good problems to have. I love that y'all are social and close with one another. Real quick, I'm going to start it off with Margarita Madness is coming up. We are super excited about Margarita Madness. It is one of our best events every year. This year they are running a pre-sale discount on the tickets. So limited time only. Tickets are $30 as the pre-sale pricing. That is only for April. So I'm going to pass this around. If you want to buy tickets, just scan it at the bottom. There's a QR code, Miss Michelle. If you'll just pass that around for me, and if you want to buy tickets, go ahead. For any of our speakers today, this mic is different. You can't talk like this. You got to talk like this. So if you come up to the mic, hold it in front of you, please. All right, real quick, before we get into our Y4C2Ts, let's start with wins real quick. I need wins in the room. Where are our wins at? Who's got a win to share with us? Red, hit me, brother. Hey, wait for Ken. He's going to run you the mic. Thank you, buddy. Hustle, Ken, hustle.
All right, so today is my actual first time having a listing go live.
Woo!
And I got them by way of doing door knocking.
How did you find them?
Door knocking.
Door knocking. Very good. It works. It works. All right, another win in the room. I know we got them. All right, Janet Hurt. What you got, Janet?
I just have 2 homes under contract this week.
Nice.
For the same person. Her listing, we close on the 11th of May, and then the one that she's buying, we close on the 12th.
Fantastic, my friend. How did you get in touch with them, Janet? Family. Okay, sphere of influence. I love it. Misty Rios, over here, Ken. Misty. I got you. I got it.
You got it? You got it?
What you got, Misty?
All right, I have 4 closings this week and 11 this month. This month.
11 this month and 4 closing this week. My goodness, what is the success? Where is it coming from?
It's coming from everywhere. Sphere, just having conversations, just do it at all.
Y'all, she's working it, working it.
I got a big win over here.
I won a small claims court case yesterday in Corpus. That makes me 4-0 in small claims court.
Woo! That's our attorney for you. And it wasn't a claim against him. It was an agent he was representing, right? So just for clarification, just for clarification. I love that. Donald.
I have a closing today. I
Woo.
picked up another listing last week, but more importantly, I had 2 investment properties that have been on the market almost a year, and I got contracts on both of those this week.
Nice, nice. Donald, how'd you get in touch with them? All from the Sphere, y'all. Pick up that phone, pick up that phone. Carol.
I have 2 closings next week while I'm cruising, baby.
Yeah, I love it. I love. Who's going on the cruise at the end of the week? Raise your hand. Woo! Okay. All right, Garrett, you're responsible for them, so, all right. Everybody has to come back. All right, I need a couple more, David.
David, stand up. Come on, David, stand up. Stand up, David. Come on.
We got 3 homes under contract.
Hey, I love that. Right on. Where are you finding them, David? Sphere. Y'all hear that trend? They're making their calls. Nancy, what you got for us?
I will be closing this month on the 28th.
Nice. Buyer or seller?
Buyer.
How'd you get them?
I think through Boomtown, I believe.
You believe or you know? Better be tracking those leads, girls. Boomtown. Okay, there we go. I love it. I love it. Mario.
I have a closing on Monday, and I have another offer I'm submitting this weekend and another client coming in on Tuesday.
I
to show
love it.
homes.
First year in the business, y'all. He's making it happen. He's not sitting around. He's making it happen. Ken, back there with Sanazis.
I just closed a TikTok lead. I made a video the day after you watched Gary Vee's training here, and then I got the lead, and from start to finish, it took 22 days. Yeah, it was awesome.
TikTok.
I love that. TikTok, y'all. It works. Social media. Sanaz, did you have one in the back? Okay, Rachel, then Sanaz.
As one of your preferred transaction coordinators here, the market is moving. I have 37 contracts to close within the next 25 days.
Nice.
So the market's moving. Congratulations, agents.
I love that.
Rachel.
I love that. Yes, she is one of our preferred transaction coordinators. Sanaz.
Hey, Grant, do you remember that transaction that I had you step in on?
Yes,
that
I do.
listing?
She had a very emotional seller in the conference room, and she asked if I could come in and help for a second. And
It was listed with another agent for about 7 months.
Yes, it
and then we
was.
got it under contract in the first week.
No shit. Awesome. That is awesome. Y'all, this lady was in tears in the office about how her agent just completely dropped the ball, lack of communication. Then she was worried about canceling the listing, and we sat down with her, and then we gave her some suggestions on pricing and staging. You know, what do we always say? It's price, condition, and marketing. And we said, you were close to checking off each one of these boxes, but none of them is checked, and in this market, you need all 3 checked. So we gave her some advice, and you guys got it under contract. That is awesome. That is awesome. That's good. I love to hear that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome. I mean, that is the community of Heritage right here. I was talking with some agents today that are phenomenal and thriving, but we talked a little bit about just culture and the environment they're in and how it feels like a little bit of a ghost town in their current office. And then I get to pull up here and have a hard time finding a parking spot. And if you think that doesn't relate back into your business when you get to hear these wins because people are in the office, then you're kidding yourself. And we have got to be our own evangelists to go out there and spread that word, because the staff makes fun of me because I say it all the time, but I'm going to say it again. Eagles want to fly with eagles. They don't want to fly with pigeons. And when you get a bunch of eagles in our nest sharing those wins, it just encourages you to keep going out there and doing it. The success is out there, y'all. We've got numbers to show you today in terms of our monthly closings. The success is out there. But when I'm talking to other broker leaders and other agents at different events I get an opportunity to go to, it's not happening everywhere, but it is happening for Heritage. And a big portion of that is just the community of you guys continuing to encourage each other. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, real quick shout out to our sponsors today. Key Title, Perry Homes, The Credit Vixen, Pilgrim Mortgage. Give it up for feeding you and providing our fun stuff. Mr. Ken Ruiz, my brother who serves on ALC. Kick us off, my friend, for our Y4C.
All right, brother. Is everyone alive? Come on. Repeat after me. I'm alert. Come on, wake up. I'm alert. I'm alive. I feel great. Look at the board. You got pieces of paper in your desk. I'm going to say the red. You're going to say the black. You ready? Win-win. I need to hear you. Win-win.
Or no deal.
Integrity.
Do the right thing.
Customers.
Always come first.
Commitment.
Seek first to understand.
Communication.
Seek first to understand.
Creativity.
Ideas before results.
Teamwork.
Together everyone achieves more.
Trust.
Starts with honesty.
Equity.
Opportunities for all.
And last, success.
Results through people.
Awesome, guys.
I swear one of these meetings we're going to get those in the right order. We printed them out thinking, oh, this will be helpful, and then we got them in the wrong order of the screen. Ken, God bless you. We love you. Thank you for getting the energy going, brother. All right, let's see what we've got coming up. TCPA, there it is. That's just your disclaimer. Always keep that in mind. Welcome down our friends, Pilgrim Mortgage. Wes and team, come on down and tell us what you got, brother.
All right, good morning. We are Pilgrim Mortgage. I got to speak a few weeks ago. For those of you that were not here,
We are a local independent mortgage bank. Our headquarters is right over there, just inside 1604, next to the Hoppy Monk, if anybody knows where that is. There you go. Hey, I love this energy. Grant, I'm going to give New Braunfels Heritage a hard time on Tuesday. Tell them they got to step it up to this level right here. So great job. I love it. We carry that energy in our office too, so it's so refreshing to come in with you guys that are just ready to go and seeing results like you are. Because we're seeing the same thing, and we're optimistic. We are up the first quarter of this year, up 109% from the first quarter last year. And in this month, thank you, April, oh, by the way, this year's Pilgrim Mortgage's 20th year in business. And this month, we will surpass the largest month that Pilgrim has done in 20 years. So things are going in the right direction. Once we get past this blockade and quagmire we got going on, I believe, I'm a half full guy, glass half full. I believe this market is going to just take off like a rocket. And the stock market believes it too, because right now we just hit all-time highs. So that is an indication where everybody feels that we're going, right? So once we're past this, and who knows what the heck could happen next week or next month, but I believe here in a few months, we're going to see oil prices go down. We're going to see rates go down. So where are rates right now? Rates are around 6.25, 6.3. They had dipped down to 5.9 something, then they got up to about 6.6 when this started. So they're coming back down a little bit. I believe by the second half of the year, we might see a 5 in front of that decimal, and I think that's going to make the market move and get some buyers off the fence that have been sitting on the sidelines for 4 years. So good things are coming. All right, I've got 4 awesome loan officers that work at Pilgrim Mortgage right here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves real quick. Oh, yeah. Come on, Annie. You must have been at a closing. All right, good.
All right, well, good morning, everybody. Happy to be here, first time here. Yeah, y'all got all the energy. Y'all got me all hyped up. Good to see a lot of familiar faces and meeting some new ones. I'm Kaylin Cheatham. I've been with Pilgrim Mortgage and a loan officer for about 8 years now. I have an awesome team. I have my mom, Carrie, who's my licensed loan partner. I also have Tara Welke, who's my licensed loan partner. But we are all about how we can make the process easy, communication, following up with your leads. We know that if we can do a good job for your client, then they're going to refer you more, which is obviously going to refer us more. But in the past month, I mean, we've had 3 save the deals, 2 from builders, 1 just from an online lender. So if you do have a client that you feel like maybe they had a no or maybe just a little uncertain about that lender, we would love to take a look. I do not like to ever say no. We're going to figure out how to make it work. And that's why we also working at Pilgrim Mortgage. We're able to make a lot of things happen. But with a great team, a bunch of great LOs up here, so you're going to be in great hands. So thank y'all.
Good job, Kaylin. My name's Austin. This is my second time here, so happy to be here. I am a licensed loan officer at Pilgrim Mortgage. I've been with Pilgrim for 4 years. I've been working with Wes for 6. For 4.5 of those, I was a licensed loan partner on his team. In that 4.5 years, we were one of the top producing loan officer teams in all of San Antonio. So with that comes a lot of experience, knowledge, trial and error. We call it at bats. I mean, we were funneling through leads, closings. So definitely got a lot more experience than most people do in those 4 years, which is shaping me to be the loan officer I am today. Kind of what the process looks like if you work with me. I really focus on good communication between myself and the clients, as well as updating the agents throughout the entire process. We have great follow-up. A lot of times you give us a lead and we call them and they don't answer, or we get their application up front and they ghost us, but we'll keep following up until we get an answer. Another thing that I really do focus on as a loan officer is, and I think a lot of people have gone away from this, is I really focus on having face-to-face meetings with clients. What that does, I mean, a lot of people, it's all online stuff now, but what that face-to-face meeting does for us is it really brings a relationship to the transaction, helps build rapport, and makes the client more comfortable through the stressful transaction that it can be. So if y'all ever have any questions or need anything, give me a shout, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions for y'all. So.
Thank you, Austin. My name is Stephanie Sam. I'm an independent loan officer with Pilgrim, and I've been in the mortgage space for about 9 years now. I was a mortgage closer for about 7, and I went through the whole COVID, crazy 3% interest rate, all that good stuff. but I was on the back end of it. So now, actually came up on my 2-year anniversary as a loan officer this month, right? Yeah. It's been a ride. I was told that I started at like the literal worst time. So if I can get through this, I can get through anything. One thing I will say about Pilgrim is that the support, kind of, you know, being in the mortgage space is one thing, but doing the loan officer bit is totally different from what I was doing. So just having that support and having questions and getting the answers right away is awesome. You know, especially with you guys too, I get agents calling me, hey, I got a question, and I'm able, even if I don't know the answer, I'm able to get it very quickly. I really love working for Pilgrim. It's a great company. So yeah, I look forward to meeting more of you, and thank you all for having us today.
All right, my name is Andrew Lamacchia. Been in the business for about going on 8 years. It's my third. I'll be 3 years at Pilgrim in July. So, what I think y'all are seeing is a theme up here of Wes and all these awesome loan officers. Is first of all, like, we're local, and the way we operate is just going to be different than you know, any online lender or any other large credit union here. I mean, you're hearing things like expertise. It means we're all good technicians. You hear things like customer service and making your clients feel good, because we want them to have a really good experience. If they refer a friend or a coworker, we can refer those back to you. So that's how the culture is here. That's how we're coached, and I think that really pays off and separates us from anybody else in the industry. So you're hearing a lot of things that we take seriously because we want to convert your leads. Y'all do an amazing job getting leads. Our job is to convert them. And so you have people up here who are great technicians and great people to get them across from the closing table and then put more money in y'all's pockets. So super excited to partner. I know a lot of y'all here, and it's going to be, I think, really, I agree with Wes. I think the second half of the year is going to be a lot of fun.
Late but not least, right? No, I'm kidding. My name is Annie McNeil, and I have been in the mortgage business for about 14 years. Everybody said pretty much everything I'd want to say. The only thing I'd really, add on top is that every single one of us is really good at figuring out a solution to whatever problem may come across our plate. So whether you have a loan that's been denied and we need to save it, or you have somebody that's kind of got a weird situation, we can probably find a solution. And most of those solutions are going to be in-house. So if you think of a type of loan that might work, let us take a look at it, and we will figure out how to make it work and get you guys to the closing table. We all communicate really strong. We have weekly updates. I'm pretty sure we all do that. But also, every single one of us have our cell phone number on our business cards, and that's so that you can reach us. And for sure, make sure you can get in touch with us when you're working, which is usually not 9 to 5, right? It's usually 20 hours a day. So definitely give one of us a shot. We would love to work with you guys, and thank you so much for having us here.
All right, I'll wrap things up here. Hey, one of the things that really helps us be more successful and close a higher percentage of the opportunities that you get, not only our expertise and be able to see the hard deals and know how to navigate the hard deals, but also our suite of products. This is some of them up here. Obviously, we do all the normal stuff, and we do it very, very well. We love VA. We love all those type of regular type of loans. Everybody's heard of non-QM in the last few years. You know, the bank statement loan, DSCR, we have all of them. Here's the difference. I get I recruit all the time. I try to bring good loan officers to this company so we can continue to grow. It is amazing to me that companies that are even a lot bigger than us, they broker those deals out because they don't really understand them. They broker them out. I mean, what that means, if we did that, we would broker out a bank statement loan to a wholesale lender and be at the mercy of their processors, underwriters, closers, funders, all of that. We do it in-house. We're delegated. Our underwriters are have the delegated authority to do those loans inside Pilgrim Mortgage. So just like a conventional loan, FHA or VA, we handle those in-house. So it follows the same process, the same timeline, so that we can hit that closing date that we promised you. We also have a few other products. I mentioned them last time. Has anybody ever used a buy before you sell product? Usually you have to go through a third party, Orchard, Up Equity, Fly Homes, Homeward. We have our very own proprietary product. It's called our Pilgrim Mortgage Move Now. If the buyer qualifies and they've got at least 20% equity in their current home, we will do up to 100% financing on their dream home. Up to 100% financing. Because why do people have to put in a contingent offer? They either don't have the cash because it's locked up in their current house, or they don't qualify because of their debt to income ratio. If they hit the requirements for this program, and a lot of people will, we will do up to 100% financing and disregard their current payment. When they sell that house, we'll turn around and refinance the Move Now product into a permanent loan. They have 6 months. We'll do a 60-day extension, but we want to make sure that we have a conversation with you and that buyer up front, like, listen, you got to sell the house. You're going to have 2 payments. But anyway, it can move a lot more buyers into something because a lot of people don't buy or they sit on the sidelines because they don't want to move twice. They don't want to have people in their house when it's showing. This will solve all those problems. We also do construction. We've got an Arrive Home product. If you have somebody with 580 FHA or wants to go FHA and they have a 580 score, but they just had a bankruptcy, foreclosure, just went self-employed. Maybe they just became a realtor yesterday. They don't qualify. This product is a long-term contract. It's kind of a rent-to-own, if you will. They can get into the house that they want, whatever house they want, and this program will fund it, and they rent it. Good thing about it is their payment doesn't go up year after year, and a portion of their payment each month actually goes to the balance. So those are just some of the products that we have. There's not a product that is out there I don't think we have, but we will always find a solution. If it can be done, we've got it, and we have the know-how. But we're your latest partner. We're not new to KW. We've been in New Braunfels for 10 years. So we also have the trust of Grant, Garrett, Lisa, Craig, and now we're here, and we're so excited to be with this group, so I appreciate y'all's time.
Thank you. Y'all, if you've got clients in the last year that have held back over contingency or something else, I'd be making some calls today. That's coming from contribution right there. Thank you, Wes and team. We appreciate you guys. All right, coming up, a couple classes real quick. We've got Study the Ship with Command, so if you need some extra command training with Janelle, our regional tech trainer, that's happening at 1 o'clock today. Lone Wolf Transact, those emails are starting to roll out. That's our new transaction system through KW. It's all encompassing. It's your forms, it's your e-signatures, it's your compliance. Dot Loop, I will give you a heads up. The free Dot Loop version is going to go away in about 6 months' time. So we're going to transition, but you've got time. Give it a shot. I'm telling you, if you play with this tool, you will like it because it's going to be a lot more streamlined. For those that still want to use Dot Loop past that 6 months, you can certainly still use it. It just won't be a KW paid for tool because they are transitioning all over to this one ecosystem called Lone Wolf Transact. It's a very good tool. Content Day, Builder Content Day, add this to your calendar. If you've got a pen in your hand or your phone in front of you, add that to your calendar right now, Wednesday, the 29th, 10 to 3 o'clock. As always, everybody can go to that. So you're going to see time slots. If it says sold out or booked up, that doesn't mean you can't go. It just means you need to call us, let us know, and we will squeeze you in. We want everybody taking advantage of that. The reason there's time slots is just so for that 40 of you don't show up at the exact same time. We like to spread you out amongst the day. Those that are using it are really gaining traction online, guys. That's a $350 video. You get it free through Heritage, so you're silly not to take advantage of it. And then Brandon Ramirez, who runs the Texas Homeownership Group, which is a massive team, he's hosting a class on Tuesday the 5th around creating agreement in every conversation. So if you want to learn from Brandon, he is one of the best when it comes to dialogue and conversations with leads and clients. You're going to want to take that class. Red Day's coming up May 14th. We love Red Day. Who loves Red Day? Woo! We love it. We've got 3 opportunities to give where you live. We've got the food bank. We've got Morgan's Wonderland, and we've got a blood drive for those that can't get out of the office that day. So the food bank's going to have 3 locations for us at their warehouse, their drive-through, and their the farm. And then Morgan's Wonderland, that'll be a cleanup area over there and helping them with some maintenance. And then the blood drive will be here in the parking lot with the mobile blood bank. So sign up now and join us on that day. Miss Debbie Gray, what you got, friend? Yes, I believe all of them are still an option. So just scan that QR code and get that on your calendar. All right, my friend Mia, come on up with the Credit Vixen. Tell us what you're working on, Mia. Y'all welcome Mia up. Let's get that energy back up.
Hi, everybody. I know many of you, some of you, I'm just meeting for the first time. My name is Mia Prather. I'm the owner and operator of the Credit Vixen. Sorry, is that better? Okay. I've been partnering here since I pretty much started my business just over 2 years ago and have helped so many people improve their credit education and be able to get into homes that they didn't think they could. So I'm always a lifeline here. I'm also the vice president for ARIA, which is the Asian Real Estate Association, and we are definitely doing something coming up. It is a home makeover for veteran. So we have an application out there right now that if you know a veteran or you are a veteran who would like a little love and upgrade to your home, put your name in there. We're taking applications until the end of the month, and I will get it over so that way they can put it out into the newsletter. So, but yeah, just remember, if your credit needs a fixin', call the Vixen.
Amen. There we go. I love it. Thank you, Mia. All right, our friends from NAREP are here today. Who do we have speaking for us? Flip, is it you? Come on down. If y'all don't know NAREP, they are a phenomenal organization. We've got a number of our agents that are already members. They put together some great mixing events, education events. They have their awards platform. So Flip, tell us what's going on, my friend.
So my name's Hector. Oh.
Hector, tell us what's going on, my friend.
Oh, you said Flip, my bad. We
No, you're
switched.
good, you're good.
My name's Hector. I'm one of the co-directors for membership this year for our board. And NAREP, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of NAREP, but does anybody know what it stands for?
National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals.
Sir, we can't cheat.
I was a member.
Exactly. We're asking, no, yeah.
I think I still am a member. Yes, I am.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna put
We
them on-
re-up. We
I
re-up.
got the list. I got the list. But okay, what does this stand? Okay, we already said it. So yeah, National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, right? Exactly. So the purpose, mission statement of NAREP is we want to educate, promote Hispanic homeownership. Okay. I know there's a handful of y'all that I recognize from past events, past years, everything else. Anna, very own KW Heritage here. She's our VP this year, so yes, big shout out to her. But that's what we're all about, right? Educate y'all, provide you resources from things like what's going on with legislation to loan programs to national stuff. As far as to give you an example, we had a conference 3 weeks ago in DC. The director of HUD is trying to make it to where DACA recipients can go back to qualifying for FHA loans, right? And some of you may or may not know that, but that's a big deal, right? FHA is the most common loan program used for just about anybody. So anyways, so that's what NAREP's all about. And Flip.
Good morning. My name is Flip Sanchez. I'm the co-director for membership for NAREP. We have 2 different tiers to join for membership. The first one being your standard, which is $49. And think of that as your local, anything local chapters, anything San Antonio. We have 2 educational events for the year. Then we have 2 membership mixers for the year, on top of the installation that we had earlier in January, as well as the top 100 in August. And I just checked, and there's 12 Keller Williams Heritage top 100 people sitting in this room.
Right on.
Yeah. And then our second one is our platinum membership. It's $275, and that's universal. So you get to visit NAREP, Corpus, Houston, Dallas, or any events that they have, you get to attend those. And then you get special pricing on any conferences that we have.
I love that. So locally it's 49, you said?
49.
For the year?
For the year.
Cheap, easy, love
So
it.
if you break that down, it's about $12 for every event.
Anna, you come down. Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know you don't want to. That's why I'm making you do it.
Okay, I was also going to say, if you are in the awards, you have to be a member to go to our gala and to get your top 100 for our event. But also, we have lots of networking. It does do policy change. We do education. It's a wonderful, wonderful group of people. It is very helpful. I have loved it. I've been a part of it for a while. So you do not have to be Latino. You actually could just work with them and care about them and their housing. So if anyone doesn't like that, then let me know. But everyone else should be a member. So we would really love y'all to be a part of it and come to our events. And we're having a builder one coming up soon. Do you have the date?
Right before our builder one, though, we do have a membership mixer, April 30th. It's at River North Ice House. We will share the flyer with Grant. Maybe he can push it out to you guys. It's free for members. They get to bring a friend, so find an REP buddy, join us so you can see what we're all about. And also, it might be a Spurs watch party. So playoffs. Yeah. Hopefully we sweep the Trailblazers, but we'll see.
I
Maybe
heard there's a
round
bunch
two.
of crazy Hispanic fans there. Yes.
A room full. Yeah.
If you know, you know. I'm not. That's an online thing. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Here, I'll take it from you. Guys, if you're newer in the industry, sometimes I have this conversation a lot when people go, why did you serve at Sabor? Or why did you serve on the NAREP board? Because the first question people love to ask, there's trash on the floor. I'll get it later. The first question people love to ask is like, well, do you get paid for that? The answer is no. And they go, well, then what's the value there? Outside of, yes, the education and all that, expanding your realtor network is vital. Yes, we have a lot of agents here and we love each other inside of our four walls and everybody should be here, but they're not. And so because of that, it's good to have that network, especially in times like COVID when things are going crazy. Knowing the agent on the other side that you're submitting the offer on, or if you're the listing agent and you're receiving an offer, that shit matters. I can't tell you how many times I won deals during COVID where I wasn't necessarily the highest and the best, but we had a working relationship through knowing each other at NAREP or at Sabor. So for $49 to go to 4 events throughout the year and network and build that relationship and that network, expand it, it's worth a lot more than $49. Get signed up. All right, that's my plug. All right, watch this video real quick. We got some new stuff rolling out marketing-wise. Listen quietly. Yeah. I don't know. The music sounds really cool, though. Anyways, there's new social templates. There's new marketing materials, and there's new buyer presentations, and it is all available at that QR code. So if you have more interest in the templates, there's social media templates, there's buyer presentations, seller presentations, go upstairs, see the tech team, or scan that QR code, and they will get you hooked up. All right, I see a few phones for the QR codes. I'll let that happen. It's in the portal. You can always find it in the portal. Yes, God bless that portal. We love the new portal. All right, here's some Heritage stats for March. You guys crushed it. You can see our closed volume was 564 families that you guys helped serve in the month of March, which is incredible. We sold nearly $194 million. That is freaking awesome. Heritage is amazing. We love you guys. Keep up the great success. Here's something really cool. Our top closed volume individual, we have Christina Guzman in the room at $3.9 million. We had Josh Boggs' team with Exposed Homes for $2 million, and the Lakefront Group with an astounding $8.5 million. Somebody mic up Christina. Actually, I'm going to come to you because we got this new microphone. It's supposed to work all the way back here. So, all right, tell us, what are you doing right now that's bringing you all that success? What do the other agents need to be doing?
First of all, that was 2 transactions. So push for the luxury, the number one reason for wanting to do luxury, right? 2 transactions for $3.9 million, but 2 different resources. One was direct mail, full price, sold in 2 weeks. And the other one, yes, through Real Marketing. Yeah. Yes. No, listing agent. The second deal, buyer's agent. And so what I want to plug to all you guys, if you're not marketing to agents and people you know in your sphere of influence outside of San Antonio, you're missing a huge opportunity. Because everybody you know in San Antonio knows 15 other realtors. But most of the people you know in other parts of the country only know 1 realtor in San Antonio. So put those people in your sphere of influence because that was a $2.6 million sale. Yeah.
Happy hour on Christina. Yeah. Woo! Y'all, if you don't know about that farming program, I'm telling you, those that are using it, they're crushing it. It's a really good tool. You should look at it. All right, there's some stats there for you as well. It pretty much says KW's crushing it. Our market share in units is almost 15%. Our market share in terms of volume is 16%. You can see listings are still going up. The inventory, that's going to happen as we get closer to summer because people are going to start prepping their homes. It's why we love our sellers to list in the spring before the big inventory rush hits the market. Supply and demand's tipped in their favor. Inventory is going up 5.7. Days on market still creeping up. So we, at next team meeting, we're going to do a Shark Tank listing panel style. We're going to encourage you guys, if you have a listing over 90 days, to bring it to team meeting. We're going to do some random drawings, and I'm going to have a listing panel up here of some rock stars that are going to evaluate your listing on the spot. So if you've got a listing over 90 days and you want your chance at having it looked at and you don't have thin skin, come on down and we'll give you a little critique. And the idea is that it's not to judge, but it's to increase us and help us build each other up and learn from each other on what skills do we need to be using on our listings. But inventory is growing, but I'm telling you, we're still seeing lots of people like Christina's deal and other people's deals from earlier that are hitting the market and getting them sold. It's price, condition, and marketing. You've got to have all three boxes checked, and we're going to hit on that more next meeting. Premier Partners, if you guys, let's do our drawing, but Premier Partners, remember, be entering your usage of our Premier Partners because it enters you into that drawing. On that, our good friend Johnny Lopez, Johnny Wave, they're giving away a river float and stuff today as well, so make sure you see him. Let's go ahead and draw for the Premier Partners. Mr. Garrett Brandt has got our cash. We're going to start here for $250. Oh, hold on. There we go. Let's see who we have as our winner. Ready. 250. We have got Steve Camacho. Woo! You got cruise money, buddy. I like it. Yeah, don't leave. We want to take a picture with that cash. 500. And that was for using Pillar to Post. All righty. Next up for 500 big ones. Who do we have? Monica Cook. Where is she? Okay, I know she was here. I saw her in the room. Toby's here too. So, okay, great. Fidelity National Warranty. That is awesome. Fantastic. And if you haven't seen Monica, she's here today. Give her a big hug. She is still recovering from her diagnosis and she's doing well. She is healthy. And I am excited for her. Fidelity National Home Warranty. And then the big one, $750. Jaime! Woo! Shout out BPG, which I think BPG's in the house today. So right on, man. Congratulations to our winners. Guys, if you don't know how to submit, it's in the agent portal. You just go to Premier Partners, and it'll tell you what to submit each time you use. And you never know. Like we said, we had somebody last month had 28 entries. She didn't win anything. The next month, she had 3 entries, and she won 750. So you just never know. Perry Homes, come on down. They have a little presentation for us. Oh, and Johnny has his drawing as well. Johnny, you want to tell us what you're giving away, friend?
We are doing the river floating kit down there and also a cooler to enjoy here in the San Antonio Comau or wherever you're at. If you haven't entered, bring a card up really quick. Everybody, Bomb Rush Grant. There it is. Yes. This is why y'all should have did it out there. Just saying. No, here we are. So, all right, so while we're doing this real quick, everybody, just so everybody knows, Jeanette, she has her walking boot off out there. She's officially driving today. So if y'all see anybody in the parking lot going crazy, that's her, just so y'all know. That's her, so she's officially driving today. Yes. All right, we ready, Grant? Yes. If you need a claim, y'all know who to talk to. Awesome. Again, we're doing the giveaway on behalf of our company, Advanced Protection. We do the security and the water filtration, but yeah, we got one more coming in. Okay. Two more coming in. There it is.
All right. Anybody else? Going once.
Going twice.
Oh, there's one. Pass it
There's
down,
another
Jacqueline.
one. Hey.
Mario, pass it down.
Oh, it must
go
be
to Shelley,
present.
Go to Carla.
Must be present to win it.
Thank you, dear. All right. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Louder.
Lord.
Pass it down. Thank you, Leah. If I see one more hand. Okay. All right. Here, hold this. Do it behind my back so there's no cheating. I'm mixing it up.
And the winner is?
Where's the name? It's the Camachos, Steve and Roxy. He's going to be on that river float behind the cruise ship. I love it. I love it. All right, y'all, give it up for Art Jimenez with Perry Homes. If you haven't worked with Art, he is awesome. He is a pro. I have worked with Art a number of times over the years. He's a true professional. He works with one of the best builders. We love Perry. Perry loves realtors, especially Heritage. Tell us what's going on, brother. There's the clicker right there if you need it.
Beautiful. What do I push?
Just the arrows.
Okay, got it. Well, hello. Thank y'all for having me out today. Grant, thank you. A lot of energy in the room. I hate that I have to follow all these previous speakers they put on.
It's all right. Just be an amazing speaker. You'll be fine.
There you go. I normally don't present in front of this many people, so if I'm a little nervous, excuse me. But yeah, like Grant said, my name is Art Jimenez with Perry Homes. I've been in the new home industry for a while now. I see a lot of familiar faces in the room that I've done business with. Let's skip to the next one. So Perry Homes, if you're not familiar, we are more of the luxury builder in San Antonio. We're not fully custom, but the way we handle business, the way customer service is our top priority. There's a reason why every year we have a 30% second Perry home buyer. Outside of that, things we do a little bit different than other builders.
Art, did you say 30% of your customers are second-time Perry purchasers?
Correct.
Okay,
So
that's
every
good.
year-
That's good info for you guys. When you're talking with your buyers and you're going out to new construction, that's a good nugget to just hang on to help push that product when you're
Yeah.
at a model.
So
Go ahead.
that just shows the way we do business. We do work in the referral business, and it all comes down to the way we handle our construction processes. Kind of things we do different. In each community, we have it broken down into different builders, from a project manager to, what do you want to call it, a phase 1 and a phase 2. So you have one construction manager that takes it from foundation all the way to sheetrock, and then you have a sheetrock to finish closer from there. What that does is it limits the amount of houses they work, so we don't give them more than 6 houses at a time. So they are in each of these houses daily, ensuring that our quality control is going the way we need it to. Outside of that, we go to our warranty department. In San Antonio, we are the only builder in San Antonio who has a 2-year workmanship warranty.
Y'all know what that means? That's your bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper, I use that term all the time. We use doorknob to doorknob, so a lot of things tend to happen after year 1, but with us, your customer's protected for 2 full years. Energy, I know all the builders out there right now, everybody is promoting energy efficiencies. Most kind of stick to the same, whether it's the windows, whether it's spray foam, whether it's different things. We are an Energy Star builder, and our average rating is about a 64 on the HERS sheet. If you don't know that number system, the lower the better. We test every house, a blower door test, to be sure that we pass those inspections. Different reasons why to buy Perry Homes: warranty, energy efficiency, maintenance, design, just the different things that we do. We are throughout San Antonio, New Braunfels, and Bernie. We probably have closer to 30 different communities, and we are growing every day.
Hey, there's a bunch of land that just got cleared in the back of Cibolo Canyons. Is that going to be y'all?
Oh, yeah. We're going back in, 2026?
Y'all, Cibolo Canyons is right up the street. That shit's, that's going to sell really, really fast. So, Art, we need the hookup on knowing about it first.
Yeah, so, Cibolo Canyons, all this area, 281 corridor, we will be back in there probably towards the latter part of next year. That community sold out very quick with all the amenities right by TPC. So it is a prime location. I am going to do a raffle at the end of this. I'm going to do it this weekend. It's going to be a Yeti cooler.
Is it digital or do you need cards?
What's that?
Is it digital or do you need cards?
We're doing digital.
Oh,
so I'm not going to go out and collect all the cards. So if you want to enter into the raffle, these are ways to connect with me. If you do more of these, you will get more entries. So it's a cool cooler. It will have a handle and roller, so you don't have to haul that big thing around. I know they can get heavy, especially when they're loaded with beer or whatever your choice is.
It's a big old Yeti cooler I saw. It's the one that you drag behind you with the wheels and all that. You're going to do it at the end of the meeting?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Once I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to kind of get their entries. I will do it, what's today? Thursday? I will do it on Saturday.
Saturday? You got to do it today while people are here.
Oh, I got to. Well, if you find me, I got to track everybody's logins, because it could be through Instagram, Facebook. All right, well, we could do that. Y'all want to do cards?
Okay, at the end of the meeting, drop your card over there in the corner with him.
Okay. You have the cards? I'm going to take them from you, though. I'm going to need those, too.
Yes. No, because that one was for Johnny. So grab another card.
All right.
And then just everybody pass your cards that direction while we're meeting. So look to your neighbor. Don't shy away from them. Pass your cards that way, and we will collect them at the end of that row.
Well, we could. That sounds like an easier process. So we'll
And
do
then
that.
still go ahead and
But
follow him
also,
on social
if you want to
media,
connect
yes.
with me, these are the best ways to do it. Oh, sorry, I went too far. But no, thank y'all for having me again. And I know how important it is, the people that you work with. I've been fortunate throughout my career to build relationships with realtors like you, a lot in this building. And I just want to say thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Perry Holmes. You guys are awesome. Hey, can you cross-sell? Okay, so if y'all don't know what cross-sell means, that means he can be your primary Perry contact. Just call him or connect with him, and then he will search inventory and neighborhoods for you, so you're not having to call all 30 of their communities. That's an important point. Not all builders can cross-sell, so if you really like Art, which I really like Art, make him your Perry contact, and he's going to take really good care of you. Appreciate you, Art. Thank you, my friend. Pass those cards to my left. You're right. All right, we're going to switch gears a little bit and go to a more serious topic. As you guys know, I told you a week or so ago, well, 2 weeks ago, that Kaylee Fort had passed. God rest her soul, and we're still in constant communication with Adam, her hubby, and their little girl, Emerson, who's 6 years old. They are still waiting on the medical examiner's reports, which unfortunately he was told was going to take 12 weeks. So imagine that anguish of not knowing for 12 weeks what took your wife when she was just going to take a nap. What we realized in that situation is that not only was her team partner, because she ran a small team, unprepared for what to do in an emergency, but it also kind of caught us off guard in terms of all the questions that would arise from that. What do we do with contracts? What do we do with the LLCs? Who's on the bank accounts for commissions and disbursements? What do we do in terms of showings, listing appointments, buyers that are under contract, inspections, option periods? All kinds of stuff resulted in that. We are blessed that we have the Heritage community behind us, and we had a number of our ALC members step up to help out with current transactions. So thank you to our ALC for doing that. That's the community you guys have behind you. I had more volunteers than we needed, but that's the power of Heritage. But it sparked a conversation internally amongst leadership of, you know what, we do need to have this conversation, because what happens if it is you? What happens if it's somebody in your family and you have to take immediate leave? Who's there to back up your business, and what are the steps we need to do? And so Garrett and I put together a list, and then we also brought Jeremy Brewer in to talk about some of his services in terms of planning. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy first. Where's Jeremy? Come on up, my friend, to have this conversation. So just continue to think about Kaylee and her family. And I know it's not a fun topic, but it's something we all have to discuss. So Jeremy, my friend, here's the microphone. Take us through your presentation, and then Garrett's going to lead us through some of the broker aspects of it as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Grant, and sorry to hear about Kaylee. It is a timely topic, and it's one that can sneak up on you, and it's one that most people don't like to talk about. And what I hear a lot of times is people don't want to talk about it because they're afraid if they talk about it that it's going to happen, and so if they plan and then they think, well, if I have a plan, then the Lord's going to take me, and that's not always the case. I mean, the Lord will take you if He wants you, one way or the other. It doesn't matter if you got a plan or not. And history is full of that example. But I was with Key Title, and now I have an office up on the 3rd floor, and I still do closings with Key Title. But I also do some other things on the side, do some other things as well. Like I do some estate planning, I do some contract work, I do deeds and things like that. I've helped some of you and helped some of your clients out with some of their issues. But the thing that we want to talk about today is kind of just the impact of death on a real estate transaction. We've talked before about what do you do with property for somebody who's already passed away, but what happens if they die during the transactional process? And it may not happen very frequently. I was talking before the meeting, we were talking, it depends on the type of client that you have. I mean, it may happen, but it's the kind of thing that happens quickly, and you may not be prepared or aware of it because you didn't even think to ask about it. But so the things typically what happens is when a deceased person, say you have a contract and the seller in that contract or the buyer, whatever, has passed away in the middle of the contract process. What happens to the contract? It typically stops. It will stop, and it will stop because a deceased person can't sign anything. So that means that I get a lot of people that call and say, well, I have a power of attorney. My mom passed away, you know, or the daughter has power of attorney for the mom, and the mom passed away. Well, a power of attorney, guardianship, any other instrument that gives somebody authority or power over a living person evaporates as soon as that person passes away. So when that person passes away, there's no more authority. And authority has to be reestablished. So the legal authority that existed disappears, and then that whole process is going to pause the transaction. So if you have a situation like this, it could take, you know, it could extend the transaction for weeks. It could extend the transaction for months. It could push transactions. I've seen it push transactions for years. I used to get real estate agents that would come into my office and say, hey, my seller passed away, and I say, oh, that's horrible. It's a terrible thing to happen. They're like, well, we were supposed to close in 30 days. I'm like, well, we're not going to close in 30 days because the probate process isn't going to go that fast. You know, and it depends. And there's lots of different factors that go into play. There's lots of different probate styles. There's lots of probate mechanisms that you could use to find that authority. However, you have to go find it, and it takes effort and takes time. So it creates a situation where you should have have these conversations with your clients. Why do they fail? Because there's no more decision maker. Delays of probate, you know, that delay causes buyer frustration and buyer loss of patience, and financing timelines might expire. So these are all things that, you know, you wear so many hats as a realtor. You wear so many hats in this transactional process. One of the hats you have to wear is you have to, like planner. You have to think, and you think sometimes think far in advance, and you know, get down that line. So what controls the outcome? Really, the big things that come into play are how title is currently held. A lot of times with Texas now, there's been two mechanisms, probate avoidance mechanisms related to property transfers, and those are used to be the Lady Bird deed. Maybe you've heard of it. Lady Bird deed has existed for years and years. What it did is the seller would transfer title to the property into the name of some other person, and then they would hold back the right to benefit and use the property. And then that created a problem, though, because in the event they wanted to sell the property after that transfer took place, they needed the remainder man, which is the person who took who they transferred it to agree to let them sell the property to do it. So the legislature created a enhanced Lady Bird deed, which essentially was the exact same thing, but it gave the seller the ability, or the owner the ability, to transfer that property away from the remainder man, or that person they'd given it to originally. But it still had its issues. And so recently the legislature created what's called a transfer on death deed. And that deed actually, what that does is the seller can say, I'm going to transfer this property. So typically what will happen is, I want to transfer property to my daughter. And so I say, okay, I'm going to give this property to my daughter. We do a deed, we record it, and it's there on file. But the trigger for that transfer doesn't happen until I die. So today I did it, I gave it to my daughter. Tomorrow I'm like, you know what, I want to give it to Ken. Ken, you know, he hooked me up with my HEB order. So I can transfer it again, and I could transfer it again. And so because the trigger for the transfer mechanism and the grant doesn't actually happen until the person passes away. And effectuating that, you know, when a person passes away, typically what you do is you could provide the title company handling the sale or secondary subsequent sale, a copy of the death certificate. Sometimes you do an affidavit of death and you record it. It just depends on what the underwriter and the title company actually require. So the other things those two mechanisms can, if your seller has done one of those things, the transaction can proceed pretty much, you know, with very little delay, very little issue. Most people haven't done one of those things, so what that puts you into the next step is, well, was there a will? And that kind of will is that's the decedent's. That puts into play their plan. That says, like, I want my daughter to speak for my estate when I pass. I want her to be the executrix of my estate. So when I die, I want her to be the decision maker, her to be the one in charge. And essentially in that role, that function says that person gathers all of my property that I had, and then they pay my creditors and they distribute my property to my beneficiaries. If you have a will, then great. It can make the process go a lot faster. If you have a will, sometimes that, you know, it can make it go faster. It could also make it go slower, depending on the type of administration that has to happen. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And the next thing is whatever administration you have, that controls the speed to establishing your authority. So these are things that how you have to, it's important to understand these things depending on your situation. I think it's important generically just to understand these things in the process since you're handling this transaction for somebody, and these things can all pop up, quickly. So there's a couple different types of administration. We won't go through everything. I'll speed it up because I know Grant and Garrett want to get on here and put on their show. But so independent administration is typically the most common. If you have a will, then typically most wills are drafted today. When I do one, I usually do it for an independent administration, which means that the executor, the person who's named as the decision maker, doesn't need to have the court approval. They don't need to have a bond. They don't need to have some of these formalities. And what I'll do is I'll just say, so in that process, usually you could do it I've done them in 6 weeks. You probate a will like that in 6 weeks. It's usually, and that's, a lot of times you may be able to go faster depending on the court schedule, but it just depends. But it's a pretty fast process. The executor acts with very little oversight from the court, and it's typically the best process to keep a transaction alive because it's the fastest thing to keep it moving. The next one that we've got is a dependent administration, which this is a lot slower. And if you ever heard of it, it just means the court makes all the decisions. So there's an executor, but they have to go to the court and say, hey, can I sell the property? Or hey, can I transfer this deed over here? Hey, and the court has to approve all that. And it takes a ton of time. And so it's important that if somebody hasn't set it up for an independent, then this is what will kick in. So you have things like a minimum title. You have things like a small estate affidavit. Those things aren't typically used. They have very, very specific form, very, very specific functions. So in the event somebody mentions that to you, my suggestion is come talk to me, or go talk to an attorney, or talk to your title company, because those things may or may not work for the circumstances that you have. Then you've got your affidavit of heirship, which is a lot of times used when there's no will, or there's been no will probated, or there was a will, but the people waited too long. You only get 4 years to probate a will in Texas unless you have good cause for not doing it that quick, doing it that way. But you don't usually get down there. This could create some issues. It just creates different potential challenges because you have to find all the heirs. You have to identify the heirs. Sometimes there's missing heirs. I've had situations where I had a client who the will that they had had probated 40 years before they found the property that they were trying to transfer. And in that time, all the heirs or the decedents or the beneficiaries of the will had passed away, and then some of their children had passed away. The executor passed away, so it was putting together a puzzle, and I thought it was a lot of fun, but it was 5 years before we even got really down into anything to get to any sale or transactional change. When a seller dies mid-transaction, it could still be valid. It depends. Sometimes if a husband and wife are both on title to the property, and they both sign the contract, then one of them passes away, the contract can still go forward because you have somebody who has ownership and has the authority to sign. But if it's only one individual, then you usually end up in a situation where there's no more, a deceased person can't sign, there's no more authority. So how it typically happens, you have a contract, death occurs. I would suggest you notify your title company if that happens. They'll look at their ownership to see if there's an issue, if it can proceed forward. If it can't, then they'll tell you. They'll just like, you got to figure out who's got the authority, who could do what they need to do. And then they'll find the authority, and then once you do that point, then you can move forward with the closing. So we'll do this because this went out of order. So some of the red flags that I thought might be worthwhile to look at is if you're dealing with elderly sellers or ill sellers. I mean, it might be worthwhile to ask them some questions, and we'll talk about that in a second. Sometimes it's property that you got that somebody that's been in the family for 50, 60, 70 years, right? If someone says, hey, my family's had this property, there should be some follow-up questions to that. If there's lots of people selling the property, if you've got 10 different people selling the property, it might be a question, and if there's unclear ownership history. So some of the questions you probably want to do is look at how is title held. If you have those situations, ask your sellers, how do you have title? Ask them because sometimes they will have prepared all these things. Ask them if they have a will. Ask them who, makes decisions if something happens, and, these types of things. And are there multiple people who would inherit if there was no will? So these are all questions you can ask, and you may think, wow, this is a lot of stuff I got to ask all this, ask all that. But it will, nothing's worse than when you're sitting there in a situation and a transaction stalls out because you lost the person who could sign, or you lost the authority, and now you got to wait along. have found that people are usually pretty forgiving until it starts costing them money. And then once it starts costing them money, they're like, I'm not very forgiving anymore. I know that your seller passed away. I'm super sorry. I'm the buyer, but hey, it's costing me money now. I have to pay more money to keep this going, and I have to pay another mortgage and things like that. So they will be forgiving until they're not. Involve your title company early, set your expectations, build your timelines, and plan for contingencies. And then this is stuff that Grant and Gary, like I said, the final thought I have is you can't control death, but you can control what what happens after death. And you have a question? Yeah. $350. Yeah, so I've done, for some people in here, I've done transfers from one party to the other. I've transferred into an LLC or those types of things. Generally, the cost is it's $250, and then whatever the recording cost is. So typically, depending on the county, it's anywhere $35 to $50, depending on the number of pages. I'm sorry? So I do affidavits of heirship. They run probably around $400 to $600, depending on the transaction, depending on what it is. So, any other questions? What? So I can't see. They're two separate, yeah, so they're two separate things. So a power of attorney just says this person has control over decision-making related to either my medical decisions or my financial and my property decisions, depending on which power of attorney you have. A will is a document that just says, hey, if I die, this is what I want to have happen. If you don't have a will, the state has a scheme. The state has a plan, and the state's like, this is how it'll go. However, it's a bureaucratic plan, and the state's plan usually takes a heck of a lot longer than it did if your client or you would have planned. So, and all these things apply to you as well. If you own property or you have things like that, then you need an estate plan. If you own anything, you need an estate plan. But the biggest thing, people say, I don't own anything, and I tell people, like, the worst thing I think a parent or family member could do to the people who they leave behind is force them to make decisions when they're grieving. Because you don't get a ton of time to make a lot of decisions. And if they have to make decisions while they're grieving, I think it's horrible. My mother did that. I mean, I'm an attorney. My mom did that to me. She was like, oh, I don't have any. And I was like, well, here, I'll do a will for you, and she's like, no. Then she passed away. And we all had to make decisions about what to do with property, what to do, how's this work, this is what I thought. And if you have, multiple siblings or multiple family members, I thought it should be this, she wanted this, and my sister was like, well, she wanted this. And so then it just creates this real conundrum. It could have all been solved. So it all impacts you as well. Estate planning is super important. But yeah, I'm up on the third floor. I do a lot of that stuff, and I do corporate formation and things like that. But if you have any questions, I've done it for clients, and I've done it for the agents here. So if you have any questions, please just let me know. I'm up on the third floor next to the kitchen.
I think it's mostly just going to be me. Cool. Yeah, we got Grant's face covered, so we don't need to see him anyway, right? I don't even know where he went. All right, let's go that way. All right, so he talked about what happens in a transaction should a client pass away. What if something happens to you? I mean, that is not a fun thought. Let's just talk about it. My two favorite things to talk about are death and taxes. So we just had tax day yesterday. Let's follow up with death today. What the heck? I know, it can be a little morbid, but this is so important. I know of no one in this room is going to get out of this life alive. Like, we're all going to end up facing that decision. And it either comes maybe expected after a long life, you can see it on the horizon, or it could be sudden. It could be an accident, it could be a medical event, it could be some tragedy. And I hate to be morose about it, but we just got to face it. So what do we do in the midst of this? How does that impact our business? What can and can't happen in a real estate transaction if the agent passes away on it? So we're going to talk about some of these things. I have notes, and I have a clicker and a microphone, so I'm going to be juggling a little bit. So what do we do if the unexpected happens in our business? Here's what Trek says about this. So if you are an individual agent, you don't have a team, you're an individual agent, your license immediately goes inactive, meaning well, you wouldn't be there to really practice anyway, right? But there's nobody that can just step in and pick that up. Your license is inactive. There's nobody on that contract other than your broker, which is a good thing. Obviously, you can't be around to close things. Nobody can act using your license on your behalf. It's a personal asset, and it would expire when you do. So what happens to your active contracts? Fortunately, nothing. The deals between the buyer and the seller are not affected directly. It's just how do we get them over the finish line when you're not there to take care of your client. So fortunately, at a brokerage like Heritage, we will take that and we will assign another agent to step in and close that out. It could be a fellow agent. It could be leadership like me or Grant. Like, we have the authority to do that. So your clients are protected, and we do get them closed on that. Now, if you are a designated broker, such as myself, or if you have an entity that you are a designated broker of, TREC has a new rule that allows a 14-day grace period. Because let's be honest, before they did this rule, if I died as your broker, everybody's license would immediately, instantly go inactive. That was the old rule. And they kind of looked around and said, ooh, that's not the real world. So at least there's a 2-week grace period for Heritage to get a new designated broker in place, which, you know what? As we're talking about you guys having a plan, we have a plan of succession. We would designate someone that says, should something happen to me, this person steps in to take over. Like, it's a known thing on that. But that's fun to think about, right? But like that, you all need to know who your successor in your business is going to be to wrap things up. All right, what about if you have a business entity? A couple things on business entities about it. If you, 2 things on this. You can either have a business entity that is a broker, and you're the designated broker, or you just have a business entity to collect your commissions, right? But some of the same rules apply to both. If you have an LLC, they do not automatically cease to exist. An entity is its own separate person, is how we refer to it in the law. And so it can continue, but here's the thing. If you are a solo agent and it's your LLC, nobody can just step in and start running it. They're not on the bank accounts. They're not on the operating agreement. They're not an owner. Nobody has the immediate authority to step in and do that. We'll still pay your commissions into it, but in essence, it just freezes in place. It'll start holding the money on it. So you probably want to look at your operating agreement for your LLC and make sure there's a succession plan named in there, somebody that can step in, transfer on death. If you have a spouse, somebody that will automatically transfer to. Not that they can do real estate, but they can get access to the bank accounts. They can get access to the things on that because they will then become a member of that company. So what your I kind of covered that. What about S corporations? Similar to that, your shares, which are personal property, will pass according to your estate plan. So again, have a will, have a plan for your assets. If you have no will, then the Texas law, as Jeremy said, passed by intestacy. It may end up in the hands of people you didn't plan on it going to. How about TREC and your entity? This is where this gets interesting. Again, if you're a broker and you have an entity with a broker's license, it will still be licensed. You're a designated broker, but again, 14 days, they got to get a new one in there. Otherwise, TREC will cut that license off, and it can't do it. But if it's just a registered entity with TREC, remember that entity is not licensed. It can't do real estate. It just holds the money. So you get this interesting interaction with them. It's not just a paperwork issue. This can affect licensing and license activity on that. So a practical step for entity holders, pull out your operating agreement if you're an LLC. Pull it out if you have a shareholder agreement, put it out. If not, create one and create a plan of who's going to step in and take charge of these things and have it written down, have it accessible, have people know what it is on that. Bank accounts. This is probably the most immediate impact to your business and maybe overlooked. If you die or you become incapacitated or in the hospital, nobody just has the automatic right. Your spouse doesn't, your kids don't. They cannot just walk into the bank and say, hey, this person can't sign, let me have access to the money. That's not how it works. So if you are a single signer on the account, that could be a real problem. On that. You may want to set up a system where there's a secondary signer on all of your accounts, even your business account. a trusted partner here at the company, your family member, somebody, they can step in. Now, Jeremy mentioned having powers of attorney. That's great, but they only are effective while you are alive. So that'll only work if you're in the hospital and can't sign. The person with a POA can go in and generally access those accounts. But if it's a business account, it might not be covered, right, Jeremy? A business account, probably different than a personal account under a POA. So you want to have that planning in place on that. Because otherwise, the money just sits there. You can't spend it. You can't pay people. You can't pay assistants or anything like that. All right, so what to do? Have a secondary signer. You have to go in and do this in person. They're not going to let you do it over the phone. You got to go down together and do that. So what if you are, oops, I'm going too far. There we go. That's, whoa, it's going way too fast. There we go, right? There we go. Business bank accounts. Team leaders. Okay, you're running a team. What do you do now? You really want somebody on that team that you can hand the business off to. And they're going to have to be involved. They're going to need to know, what is the business plan? How do we get in the CRM? How do we do the what if I'm out routine here? And I would review it every year. This is the kind of thing that maybe systems change over time, and you're going to want to do it every year. Let's see. Oh, here we go. What will the brokerage do? We're going to step in, make sure all the files are in place, bring in people as we need it, and of course come alongside you, make sure you get your earned commissions paid into the estate, and we're going to contact your clients as we need to, but we need you to have a plan in place to make it scenario. So here's one thing Grant and I talked about, and I know we went really long today, a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. We're going to come up with a business planning book for you. We're not going to create a plan because everyone's going to be different. We're going to ask these questions. We're going to put together some thoughts where you can go down and put all this stuff together so that you can have a plan of how you're going to handle all this stuff. What about your database and your book of business? Your database is an asset. What do you want done with it? It has a value to somebody, so you want to look at that, but it's only good if you can get into it. So we're talking about now accessing the database, accessing the ideas that you want. So there's a thing we're going to want you to create called a desk plan, and it's going to talk about having a book of your business, your logins, your client list, your contracts, all the things that you would regularly do that you maybe know intuitively, and help you flesh that out. Now here's one thing we ran into on Kaylee's situation. Since she was the team lead, all of the logins were through her email, and when she ran into a two-factor authentication, when it was time to log back in, the code went to her cell phone. Yeah, that was at her house with her husband and her mom who had come into town. So the partner, Hillary, had to call and say, hey, I need to log in. Can you check her phone for the code? It's not very warm and fuzzy in the moment of grieving either. So part of this is you may want to set up an email that is accessible by everyone on the team to get that kind of code. Like, you want to think through some logistics that go with this, because it's really, it's uncomfortable otherwise. So passwords are a big thing. Make sure everything is accessible. The desk plan, login information, talked about this real quick. Oh, insurance policies. Are there people that are named on your insurance policies? Do they know about these insurance policies? Do you have someone that you trust that could literally, you can be confidential with all this stuff? Durable power of attorney, Jeremy mentioned, big thing again, that only works while you're still alive, but it's so important. Disability insurance. Who's going to pay for things if you are disabled? You don't necessarily need to worry about E&O insurance, but what about a will? I got to tell you, these basic documents will save your other heirs and family so much of a headache on that. So in closing, I thought I had one more slide. Nope. In closing, we're going to help you create an action list, but the main things I want you thinking about is your LLC, your bank accounts, and who you would want to trust to step into that place should the worst happen to you. Those are the three things: bank accounts, your operating agreement if you have an entity, and who you're going to trust with this in the brokerage. And then we're going to encourage you to write it down, have conversations, all those things. So we're going to come up with that plan and send it out. And I know this was a long and, of course, heavy topic to end with. You guys have been great. Let us know what we can do to help. Any questions, though, because I don't want to keep us too long, but are there any questions on something that confused? Anything? David, go ahead. It's a pain to do now, but man, it helps down the road in many, many ways. Plus, it helps organize your thoughts. That's another thing, too, is it actually has present benefits. Did I see a hand go up over here? Nope. Margot, real quick.
Seymour, and his name is still in there. So I had to call him to take it off. So
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't active, it was still on there.
Yeah, so in Sabor, and this gets back to, we didn't even talk about access to business social media accounts. Things like that. You want people that can get in and handle these things, and we're here to help partner with that. So, guys, thank you very much. Go and have a great week. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. Chris Black. We are going through a brand change upstairs. Jeremy has some gift cards that we were going to give away real quick. And does anybody know the name of our new title company? There we go. I have something for you. Are things not up? We are hosting CE on the 21st of May. It's going to be a 1031 exchange. Great value, great information for you guys. Carl Pikus from IPX in Austin is coming down to teach. A couple other things. We just opened a new office in Corpus Christi. So if you guys are doing business down there, we would love the opportunity to facilitate it. With Change, our app, the next time you guys log onto your app to do a net sheet, it's going to ask you for an update. So exciting news, Key Title of Texas, we got a lot of changes in there. We're adding counties around San Antonio and additionally South Texas. So if you're doing something for Corpus or the surrounding areas down there, you'll have access to put the address in, it'll pull the taxes, etc. So we have something exciting coming up in May also, real quick. Does anybody know what it is we're celebrating? Those are good. One more, come on, anybody? It's an anniversary, 10 years. So we're going to be hosting a party at Katarina's May 19th. We're going to be sending out save the date soon, so we're excited to celebrate that with you guys. And we appreciate you. Anything we can do, I'm always here to help. I tell everybody, if I'm awake, I'm going to answer the phone. I was helping Anna last night at 11 o'clock. So we appreciate you. We appreciate the opportunity. Have a blessed afternoon.